Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Esther here. Thank you so much to those who've stayed tuned with me. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about the theme, shift it. And what am I referring to? Of course, the mind. Why is it so important to shift your mind? Because your mind takes you where your emotions cannot take you. Your thoughts can take you further than how you feel. And I know in the season that we're in right now, it's very easy to assume that life will not get better because of what's going on around us. But I'm here to assure you that if you can shift your mindset, you can shift your life for the better. Now, I don't want you to look at other people and think that advice or your strength comes from them. Your strength comes from the one that knows you by name. And each and every day of my life, I take time to honor the one that gave me life. Not only that, I honor myself because I need to make sure I'm feeding my mind with positive thoughts. If you're not ill, if you've got a roof over your head, if you've got money in the bank, if you've got your family and friends, then what more do you need? It's so easy to focus on what we don't have. And when it comes to the mindset, if we're not careful, we can allow our feelings and our emotions to make us make decisions that are not healthy for us. Now, in this season that we're in, I want to challenge you to fix your mind on positive thinking. Fix your mind on things that are yet to come. Is there an age limit to success? Society has said if you're a certain age and you haven't got this, then what's wrong with you? You have to be so intentional about what you think about. This year has already shifted because I've made the intentional decision to make sure I know what feeds me and what I reject. Now you need to ask yourself, in your secret place, what is it that you need to focus on? When it comes to your mind and shifting your mindset, it takes time. It's not going to take a day. It takes your whole life. Every one of us sometimes gets triggered, whether it is by watching someone on social media, whether it is by thinking that time is running out for you, or whether you think that you're not in the right place at the right time. You are in control of what triggers you. You have every right to say, no, I am not going to allow this post to trigger me. As it says in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You can't complain and say you're where you are if you haven't made a move. If you've always done what you always do, you will always get what you always have. You can't think that, oh, well, let me try something different and see if it will work. And have you tested it by praying? Because a lot of us, we want to launch something. We want to launch a product. We want to launch a service, but we haven't even taken the time to pray. And not only to pray, to even check ourselves. Are we ready for what we're preparing for? No one is going to shift your life the way you ought to. What you desire in your mind starts to manifest itself gradually with time, but you need to be patient with the process. I was reading Exodus chapter 16, verse 1 to 4, and in a nutshell, it was about the Israelites nearly reaching their promised land, and Moses was their leader at the time. And there came a point where they were so tired, and they complained and they grumbled against Moses. And they said, Moses, why did you bring us out of the land of Egypt? We were okay there. We would rather die in the land of Egypt than come out to this place of misery, not knowing that the place of misery was actually their promised land in the end. And sometimes we can become so succumbed to the way we feel. The Israelites struggled in the land of Egypt for so many years. And now that the Lord brought Moses as their guide, they're now putting the blame on him. And what did he do? He cried out to God and he said, God, what can I do? Please help me. And that's what we need to do when we feel like our minds are running out of control. We need to call on the Lord and say, Father, what should I do? These people are crying out against me. I don't have the power. So this is Exodus chapter 16, verses 1 to 4. And it says, the whole Israelite community set out from Elim and came to the desert of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after they had come out of Egypt. Verse 2. In the desert, the whole community grumbled against Moses. The whole community. I can understand one person complaining, but the whole entire community? In verse 3, it says that the Israelites said to them, if only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. How can you say that? So when you're in a vulnerable situation, you start speaking things that shouldn't even be uttered. You start saying things like, oh, well, if only I went back to my past, I wouldn't have gone through this pain. Why couldn't you leave me in my comfort zone? Because you can't do exploits in your comfort zone. It says, if only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food we wanted, but you have brought us out into this desert to starve this entire assembly to death. So it wasn't God speaking, it was their emotions, it was their feelings, it was their anxieties talking. And initially the Israelites were struggling in Egypt. Now that Moses came, they're thinking that Moses is the problem. And sometimes our breakthroughs are disguised as problems. And they're thinking that their blessings was in the meat that the Egyptians provided for them. But yet they will use them to suffer and work harder, even twice as hard. Come on. Then it says, then the Lord said to Moses in verse 4, I will rain down bread from heaven for you. The people are to go out each day and gather enough for that day. In this way, I would test them and see whether they will follow my instructions. So when you complain and you don't think that you're going to get out of your situation, tests will come. And this is why our minds are always testing us every single day. But we are responsible for what we eat and what we consume our minds with. If you wake up miserable, you are going to affect so many people around you and you won't even realize it until you start the day. You don't realize that how you start your day reflects the entire duration of the day. You have to shift your mindset in a way where you are consistently positive, where you are consistently thankful. If the Israelites didn't complain, they probably would have been in their promised land earlier. I also want to quickly read to you Exodus chapter 13 verses 17 to 19, and I'll explain why after I finish. So it says, when Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them on the road through the Philistine country, though it was shorter. So now we can see that God had a shorter route for the Israelites to go into the promised land. However, God said if they face war, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. Verse 18, so God led the people around by the desert road towards the Red Sea, and the Israelites went up out of Egypt ready for battle. So Exodus chapter 13 verse 17 stated that God initially wanted to give them a shorter route to get to their promised land, but God enabled them to take the longer route should in case they complain and fall back in Egypt. We are so near our breakthrough, but because we complain, because we're murmuring, because we're grumbling, we stay where we are. In life, you have two choices. You either choose to be happy or you don't. But if you know that life is a gift and you know how far you've come, you have every right to be thankful for your life. You may not be where you think you need to be, but you are where God desires for you to be right now. We celebrate our birthdays every single year. So how can you think that you're going to be in the same place forever? Your mindset can take you further or keep you complacent, but whatever you do, do not look back. That is a quote from my new book, The Power of a Forward-Thinking Mindset. How are you feeding your thoughts, not only in this year, but the years to come? How are you inspiring people around you to be better? How are you shifting your mindset? If you can shift your mindset, other people around you will shift their mindset too. Don't succumb to people's feelings. Don't succumb to people's emotions, because there will be people in our lives that may not get to the level that we are trying and aiming to go to. And they're always thinking that they cannot make it. And they are the very same people that affect those around them without realizing it. Bad company corrupts good morals and good character. When your character is not in alignment with your mindset shifting, it can have an impact on the way you think about yourself. This video is an opportunity to check yourself. How is my mindset these days? Am I thinking positively? Look at Moses. Rather than him grumbling back, he asked the Lord, what should I do? My words are not enough to even express or fathom the importance of shifting your mindset. And your mindset works in your favor if you know how to utilize it well. You're not out there looking at what other people are doing, thinking that they are the goal. No human being in this life is your goal. There's no one that you should be imitating out there. You can be inspired. I stated in my recent seminar that you need to allow people to be influenced by you, and you need to show up and make sure you are doing what you have been called to do. You should never allow people to influence you unless they are influencing you in a good way. But if they're not influencing you in a good way, you influence them with the giftings that the Lord has given you. Don't think that, oh, well, I don't have anything to give. There's nothing good about me. Excuse me. You are breathing. You are here. There's so much in you. If you can just transform and renew your mindset, I've got so much in me. I'm going to check within myself. I'm going to find that inner strength that is in me, because we need to see these miracles. You want to go higher? Shift your mind. Shift your thoughts. Check your heart. Understand your motives. Where I am right now is not where I'm going to be forever. And you continue to say that to yourself. because you know you are much more further and stronger than where you think. The greatest blessings come when they take some time. Don't look to your left, don't look to your right, but keep looking ahead. Keep being expectant, and the more expectant you are, the greater you'll become in your own self, in your mental state, in your emotional state, in your spiritual state, even in your financial state. As you shift your mindset, you will shift your life. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.